Well, Utah fans, good evening and welcome into the Kyle Whittingham Coaches Show off of bye week. Kyle missed me so much. We had to get back together tonight and talk some Utah football with you over the next hour. We're going to talk about the bye week, what they got accomplished. We'll look ahead to UCLA. A couple of players are going to stop by tonight. Samson Tukuafu and Javelin Guidry are going to come by and chat with us tonight. We'll talk a little bit about the Pac-12 race, college football, and more coming up. And we thank you guys for listening in tonight on our flagship radio home, ESPN 700, and tuning in tonight on the Utah Athletics YouTube channel and also on Twitch. It's good to have everybody in, and we welcome you in. 3 games left in the regular season. It begins this weekend, the stretch run, 3/4 of the season done. It's UCLA Saturday night, followed by Arizona, followed by Colorado, and then we'll see what happens from there. Saturday night's kickoff, 6 o'clock at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Should be a great day for football and a great evening for football. And are you ready to get back at it and start playing some football again, Kyle?
We are, and it was outstanding practice yesterday and today. And typically coming off a bye, you may be a little lethargic. That first practice wasn't the case. These guys were ready to go, and it was very productive.
So who benefited most from the bye last week? Was it the coaches? Was it the players? Who benefited most from that bye?
I think both, but mostly Tyler Huntley.
Yeah.
He's a guy that really used that downtime to get himself healed up, and he really benefited from that.
So Tyler has been a warrior for you. He's played hurt. He's played at whatever you want to call him, 70, 75, 80%, whatever that might happen to be. So how much can you get healed up? How much does that week of rest help him in a guy like that? How much can that help what he's dealing with right now?
Oh, immensely, and he's essentially back to his old self, and he's first of all, like you said, a warrior to begin with. He played through some things that not many guys would have done or would have played through, and now he's feeling much better and had 2 really good practices yesterday and today.
Is your health overall pretty good heading down the home stretch? As good as you could be at this time of year?
As good as we could hope for you. Everyone in the country's banged up, and we never whine or cry about who's hurt, who we don't have, because everybody's got injuries, so it's pointless to even bring it up. But we're in. We have no complaints at this point.
So you guys get a chance to rest a lot of the starters last week. Some of the scout team guys get a little bit of work, and your coaching staff gets to hit the road to do a little recruiting last week. Are you seeing any impact on the recruiting trail when you're visiting with kids, going into high schools and talking to coaches about the success you guys are having this year? Are people noticing Utah?
We definitely, and we're on the cusp of getting some commits here in the near future that we're excited about. Now, nothing is for sure set in stone, but it looks like we're moving in that direction. So we're about to close out the class in the next short period of time.
Well, the deal's never done till they sign on that dotted line, right?
Exactly.
Have you found, though, in recent years in recruiting, is there a lot less flip-flopping than there used to be? Are kids more firm on commitments, or is it kind of the same as it's always been?
I would think it's probably about the same, but the early signing period has changed the dynamic a little bit where in December now who you got and who you don't have, and then you continue to fight for the ones you don't have that are still indecisive through the February signing day. But I'm going to tell you 80% of the kids, of the players, will sign on the early signing day.
And that's what I was going to ask you, is most of your class going to commit to you and sign in that December early signing period?
Yeah, the majority. We'll probably be not quite as high as the national average, but probably 70, 75%.
I don't think I've asked you this in a couple of years. That was instated a couple of years back. Do you like it being in December, or would you like to have maybe the early signing period as early as maybe as August?
For that, but I think right now, let's see how this goes for a few more years, and it may get to that. It may come to the point where you have that first signing period in August, and they're going to have to change some of the other rules about contacts in spring and that type of thing, where you can get to know these juniors to be seniors that next fall a little bit better.
So the bye weeks last week, we didn't do a show last week because of the bye week, but you had that emotional and tough physical win against Washington. In some ways, was it good to have that bye week post a game like that? Because sometimes you could put so much effort and so much emotion into a game like that sometimes there can be a letdown the next week. But having the bye week, does that kind of relieve some of that?
I think it was great timing for the bye, and when you break it down, we went 5 weeks and then a bye, then 4 weeks and a bye. Now we got the home stretch like you mentioned, and the bye week exactly what you just illustrated after a tough, hard-fought road win that took a lot out of you. I mean, that was an emotionally draining game, and with the guys that we had that were needing a little bit of time to heal up, I think it was very timely for us.
I'm sure you've seen that over 15 years. You play a tough, physical, emotional game that the players give everything for, and sometimes you don't have that same level the next week. You may not win or you may not lose necessarily,
right.
but you see it on the field because you put so much into that one game.
Right, we've seen that before, and I think everybody's experienced that, and that's just the nature of athletics. When you have a emotionally draining game and a hard-fought game, it's tough to rebound and be at your absolute best the next week.
So what does Kyle Whittingham do on a college football Saturday when he's not on the sideline? do you get to watch a little bit of football, and maybe more importantly, were you able to watch a little Bama LSU last Saturday?
I did get to see the majority of that game. I watched a couple games last weekend, and also got out and did some things not football related.
Right.
Spent some time with the grandkids, but yeah, I like I'm a fan of college football, and when I get a chance to watch, I will. But I wasn't sitting on the couch from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. I can tell you that.
How do you watch a game when you're watching a game that you're not involved in? You have no tie or stake to Alabama, LSU. That's not a Pac-12 game. You're not playing either one of those teams in the foreseeable future. Are you watching it as a coach? Do you have that coach's eye, or is there something? I mean, can you watch it as anything but a coach?
No, it's as a coach. I watch the line of scrimmage play first. You can peripheral the ball out of your peripheral vision, but I'm watching the line of scrimmage and the block schemes and what the defense is doing, and I'm just trained that way. That's how I do it.
Do you think to yourself, how would we match up with these guys?
Oh yeah, all the time.
There's got to be that in there.
Yeah,
huh?
You make those comparisons and try to visualize how the matchup would go.
How did that matchup go in your head?
With who?
With either Bama or LSU.
Oh, well.
Pretty good?
They're pretty good teams. Those guys are good, but I like our guys. I love our guys.
I know you do.
We're very physical, so we'd love an opportunity, but we got a lot of things to accomplish before that.
He won't be watching any football on the TV necessarily this week. Maybe catch some highlights here and there. He'll be on the sidelines at UCLA, at Rice Eccles against UCLA. We'll talk a little bit about the Trojans coming up, or not the Trojans, the Bruins coming up, and we'll also give out our weekly awards, too, up on the other side. We also have a couple of special guests joining us tonight, one from CR England, one from Wells Fargo. We'll tell you about them as well. And want to remind you, too, if you're not coming to the game on Saturday and you're watching it from the comfort of your own home, as Kyle watched the Bama LSU game, you can go to syncmygame.com. That's syncmygame.com, and you can sync our audio, our Utah radio broadcast, myself, Scott Mitchell, and Tom Hackett, to your TV broadcast. Just simply go to syncmygame.com to find out how. We'll take our first time out. We'll come back with our special guest, and we'll talk a little bit about our weekly awards. Straight ahead, it's Kyle Whittingham Coaches Show, presented by Smith's, and right here from Learfield, IMG College. And presented by Smith's, also Anheuser-Busch. Saturdays are better with a crisp Bud Light at your tailgate, Utah fans. Keep it crisp, and please drink responsibly. Bill Riley, Kyle Whittingham, and TJ England with us here of CR England Trucking, because they partner, well, they're proud partners of Utah football and Utah athletics anyway. But, TJ, you guys have a big event that you've been doing for a few years now, which you've kind of kicked off this week. It's going to run for a couple of weeks, but the big part of it, the food drive, is this Saturday for the UCLA game, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly right. So we have a big food drive coming up that we partner with the U of U, with the Alumni Association, with the MUS, and it runs from November 11th through November 30th, and we're going to be collecting food donations, cash donations up on campus. And really the big event is this game, UCLA in town. We're going to have folks all over the stadium gathering donations, so please bring your cash, bring non-perishable foods, and it all goes to the Utah Food Bank.
It's a great cause, and you guys have kind of an overreaching corporate cause, too. Your One Initiative that you call it. What is that?
That's right. So the One Initiative is near and dear to us. Food has been a part of our family business for 100 years, and so our goal was to feed 1 million kids per year, and we started that at the beginning of 2018. And thus far, actually tomorrow, we're going to hit our goal of or 3 million actually at this point. So we're averaging about 1.6 million per year through donations from the company, donations from our employees, customers, food drives. It's been a great success.
Well, you guys are all over the country too. This isn't just a Utah Salt Lake thing. We'll have the big event coming up Saturday at the game, but your company-wide initiative. So this reaches not just in the state of Utah or this region. It's all over the country.
That's exactly right. In fact, we partner with 22 food banks throughout the country, and every time a driver of ours delivers a load, we'll donate a meal to his or her food bank of choice.
That's
so
great.
It's been a great
It's a great deal. By the way, if you're on campus over the next week or two, you'll see barrels all over campus at the U of U. You can throw your non-perishable food items in there. And if you're Saturday, you guys are going to have people at all the different entrances and portals and all that stuff. So if they don't bring cans, cash is just as good, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. In fact, there'll be members of the England family of the Sierra England Company. I'll be there, and the MUS will be there, and we'll have buckets going around for donations. And so, yeah, we'll be out in force.
Is Grandpa going to be there?
I don't know if Grandpa will be there, but I'll see. I'll work on him. He just turned 100.
One of the patriarchs of the family, Grandpa, just turned 100 years old the other week. I read about it. It's a great story, and he still comes to work every day.
Yeah, he was there yesterday.
Wow, yeah, that's fantastic. That's right. So it's this weekend. If you're coming up to the Utah-UCLA game, bring some non-perishable cans or food items, or again, your checkbook or cash. It all works well. This is part of the CR England Food Drive. They do it every year. This is the big game focus, but it will run through the end of November around the campus and around the university and, of course, around the country as well. It's good seeing you.
Good to see you, too, Will.
We'll see you on Saturday.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Wearing red?
I'll be in red, of course.
Very good. There we go. So we continue on here on the show. And Kyle, by the way, your family knows a lot of the Englands. Your sons grew up with them, right?
Yeah, they did. And what a great partnership has been with the England Trucking Company. They truck our equipment all over wherever we go play. They got this rig that's all decked out and looks beautiful with the trailer, and it's first class deal, and we're very grateful for the sponsorship that they provide for our program.
All right, let's pass out our weekly awards. We've got to give out a player of the week, your team player of the week, going back to the Washington game, and also our Subway sub. Who do you want to go with as our team player of the week?
Okay, we had a lot of good performances again, but we got to go with our quarterback, Tyler Huntley. He was outstanding, and again, battling and playing when he wasn't 100%, far from 100%, but led our team to victory and was just a warrior and a field general for us in that game.
So he'll be our Team Utah and University of Utah Healthcare Team Player of the Week. They've got 16 convenient neighborhood health centers to serve you and a game plan for your family's health at U of U Health. That brings us to our Subway Sub of the Week. And I suggested this guy, and you kind of liked it. You good with Simi Moala?
Absolutely. He's it's interesting. The week he was not able to practice at all during the entire week. We weren't even sure he was going to be able to travel and make the trip. At the last minute, they cleared him to play if we needed him. So we made the trip up to Washington. Didn't start the game because he hadn't taken a rep all week long. Literally had not taken a rep. About midway through the second quarter, things weren't going so well, and Coach Harding talked to him and asked if he felt like he was ready, but he had gone to meetings, so he was up to speed on on assignments, and he was excited or chomping at the bit to get in the game, and he went in, and it almost coincided exactly when he entered the game. We started to take control, and he played one of his best games as a Ute without having practiced a snap all week long.
Well, it was amazing. The offense looked like kind of a little stuck in the mud, and then the minute you got your 5 guys back together, and Simi not even at 100%. But, hey, as you've said before, your team takes its cues from their leader, Tyler Huntley, and those guys see Tyler not playing at 100%. I'm sure Simi said, I'll jump in there and give it a go. And the offense just looked different once they all got back together again.
It did, and we were pressed into that. Bam had started the game, but then he got hurt and wasn't available, and so we tried another configuration, bumping Nick Ford out to tackle, and Nick is really a natural guard. That's his natural spot. So as soon as we got those 5 back out there, that have been playing together essentially the whole year, things smoothed out for us.
All right, that's our Subway sub of the week, and if you buy the foot-long sub of the day at Subway, you get chips, 2 cookies, and a 20-ounce drink for free, only at Subway. All right, we're going to take a break, but before we do, Samson Tukuafu is coming in next. Tell me a little
Very
something.
Interesting kid.
I was about to say, the word that I wrote down here is unique.
Unique will fit.
Yeah, so
unique.
Tell me something unique about Samson Tukuafu.
What is not unique about the kid? I mean, he's just starts with his hair. Just get a load of his hairstyle and how he's got some of the most incredible fashion that he wears every day. Things that, where did you find that, Sam? It's like a samurai sword robe or something like that. I mean, he comes up with the most bizarre outfits, but he's a great kid. I love coaching him, love having him on the team, and he is a free spirit. That's the best way I'll describe Samson.
And I'll say this, too, and I'm not around him as much as you are, but I don't think I've ever seen him where he didn't have a smile on his face and a great attitude. That kid always, he could be having a bad day, but you'd never know it.
He's got a great disposition, great attitude, and a team guy. And he's really the epitome of that entire receiver room. They're all like that. They're all team guys and very unselfish.
A lot of big catches in that Washington game. That catch Samson Tukuafu made may have been
huge.
As big as any of them.
That was huge.
The hair is here. We'll talk to Samson Tukuafu next. This is the Coaches Show presented by Smith's from Learfield, IMG College. Tonight's Coaches Show being brought to you by our friends at Pepsi. Every touchdown the Utes score this year is a Code Red touchdown. Pepsi and friends, good combination at Utah football games. Grab a Pepsi, get into the game. Proud partner of Utah Athletics. Our next guest is Samson Tukuafu, who his coach called very unique a minute ago. If you are watching on Twitch or the YouTube channel tonight, you can see his outfit is certainly unique. Did you practice in that thing today? Is that a onesie?
No, I wish it was. It would have been way better for the onesie. But they had some Uggs with it. I might go buy them. We'll see.
Tom Brady Uggs?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying
nice
right
pink
there.
Ones too. I might.
What would Coach Holliday say if you walked out to the practice field with that thing on?
I don't think they'd be surprised. They
Really?
might. They might let it go. They might not. We'll see what happens.
Where's
I might try.
the free spirit come from? I mean, has this always been you? You grew up in a family of 5, one of 4 boys. You weren't the oldest, you weren't the youngest. You were kind of smack in the middle there. So,
yeah.
Where's this free spirit? I've known you for 4 years, Samson. You've always been the same guy. Where's it come from?
I think just my family and my dad and my mom. Just growing up and being around them and just being around my family. They're just a unique sort of group, I feel like, and we just do our own thing and just have fun and make sure everyone around us is having some fun with us.
Are you guys all a little bit different personality-wise? I mean, you're clearly the free spirit. Is Kai a little more serious? He seemed like he was a serious guy when he played at BYU.
Yeah.
How does it kind of work? How did the brothers dial up the personalities?
I think Kai on the field is a little more serious for sure, but off the field is a little more relaxed.
Okay.
Me, I'm just having fun all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, it's a good time all the time. Puga's like Kai a lot. My brother Isaiah played too, and he's a lot more strict. He's a more dog. Yeah, he's a dog type.
Well, that's why you had to be.
Yeah. He was right above me too, so he's beating up on me. But I was just laughing at him while he was hitting me.
Free spirit, Samson Tukuafu with us here on the Coaches Show tonight. You guys are 8-1 right now, and for the first time in a couple of months, control your own fate with 3 games to go. Is this kind of where you expected the season to be?
It is, and especially after the loss against USC, I think we really locked it down even more. I think in the beginning of the year we had just let everything get to us and just all the hype that was going around us, and then we slipped up, and then I think Coach really brought it to our heads that we just need to focus one game at a time, and I think to ahead of the season, and that's what we've been doing, and that's it's been working so far.
It's been pretty apparent on the field that's been working. It's not preventing you from having fun, though, is it?
No, it's always fun.
Because winning's fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You win, and everyone's having a good time. Coach, staff, the training, it's all a good time.
So let's go back to 2016 for a minute. You originally walked on at Utah. Now, you earned a scholarship pretty quick, but you walked on. You probably could have gone some places and been a scholarship guy right away. Why? What was it about Utah that you said, hey, I want to try it here?
Covey was a big part in it, I think. I played with him in high school, and him being just a Mormon kid and growing up in Provo his whole life, and me moving there and just meeting him, and he was such a cool guy, and I think him being able to come to Utah and step away from Provo was a big thing. And then when I just came up here and took a couple visits, just walking around campus by myself with my mom, it was just very beautiful, and I loved the vibe up here.
So take me inside the wide receivers room here. You guys have a lot of dudes. I mean, it's deep. You know this.
Yeah.
And, you go some places and, you get 2 receivers catching 50 balls each. Here, 20, 19, 16, 11, 12. It's pretty well spread out. Mm-hmm. What's that room like? Is it a competitive room?
It is a competitive room, but it's a room that's dedicated into the team winning and sacrificing, knowing that we might not throw a lot, but we got to make plays. We might have to block the whole game, but it's all good. And it's you come into our meeting room, it's jokes. It's always having fun. Everyone's laughing, but we for sure have serious times.
You're one of the older guys. You and Damari are kind of the 2 elder statesmen in that room. Is there a definitive leader? Is there a kind of an alpha dog in that wide receiver room?
I think we all take leadership in our own selves and each other. We hold our brothers accountable for everything, every little detail we need to learn. We try to hold each other accountable because we know we're only as strong as our weakest link, and we don't need a weak link on this team. We got to all be at our best at all times.
We're talking to Samson Tukuafu here. You kind of hinted at it a second ago. How much have you thought about a second chance at a Pac-12 title? You guys were so close a year ago, and we've heard that phrase, unfinished business, all year long, but how much is that driving you guys this year?
It's everything, I think. We had it right. We were right there, but Washington came out on top. They were the better team last year, and I think this year that's just been our mindset, really just coach telling us to focus one game at a time. I know that Pac-12 championship's right there, but UCLA's first, and that's what we're trying to focus on.
We'll talk about UCLA in a second. I want to ask you about Tyler Huntley for a second. You came in with Snoop.
Yeah.
And you've seen him, much like everybody that's been here 4 years, kind of grow a little bit. Where have you seen him grow the most as a quarterback on the field?
Leadership, taking control of the offense, honestly. He posted a funny picture yesterday on Instagram, and it said life of a soldier, even though it's Veterans Day. Salute to you guys. Thank you very much, vets. But Snoop posted life of a soldier, and I commented on it, and I was like, hey, bro, chill. You're the captain. We follow you. We're the soldiers over here. He's taking control, and it's been amazing. Honestly, last year got a big injury. I think every year he's played, he's got some sort of injury, and each year he came back stronger, better, and learned the offense even better than anyone, and is taking control, and it's amazing. You can see it this year. He stepped up in his senior year, and it's been unreal.
It seems like sometimes you can tell on teams, wide receivers have a special relationship with a quarterback. One or two guys do, but it doesn't seem like here he's got a favorite necessarily. He spreads that ball around. I want to ask you about that play up at Washington. There were he made a lot of big throws that day. That one to you in the fourth quarter was pretty big. Walk us through that play, because we were talking about it off the air. It looked like you had a little eye contact thing, and you kind of had an idea he might come your way.
I remember us going into the huddle and him calling the play, and I was like, all right, the man coverage, they've been in the third down man coverage the whole game. I was like, big box, we got to win on the route. I was like, okay, I know it could come to me. I don't know. Snoop looks at me in the huddle, calls the play, and I'm like, okay, we'll see what's happening here. He says, hi, I'm running down the field. I look back real quick, and I see him, and he sees me right after he turns right. He turned right first, so I was a little confused. Like, he might go the other way, but he popped back my way, and I was like, all right, bet, let's go. And then he looked at me, threw it up in the air, and I was like, oh, back shoulder? No, not back shoulder. Let me run a little more faster. Slid right there, and it was just, I think, a daily catch we do in practice, whatever ball he throws up in the air, we believe it's a 85, 25, 15, whatever that is. I don't know the ratio, my bad. But we believe it's our ball most of the time. And that's what I believed in the moment. I was like, it's my ball.
Well, because the coverage was good.
Well,
I mean, Miles Bryant had pretty good coverage on you. He put that ball in a place where you could run and go get it.
Yeah, Snoop, like I said, all year has been making great plays and taking leadership, and threw it just a money ball right there. And Miles Bryant was playing great defense, and I just felt like I made a better offensive play.
And you did. It was a big one. All right, before I let you go, UCLA this weekend, what are you expecting?
A dogfight. They've been coming out of the trenches. It looks like they had a slow start in the beginning, and they're coming out rolling hot, it feels like, but we are too, and we just got to keep believing what we've been believing and doing what we got to do, and just focus on these guys, and then we'll worry about what's next.
We get the Nakua boys all in the backyard. Who's coming out on top if you're playing hoops or football or whatever it might be?
Probably our youngest brother Tay. No one knows about him yet, but he got it all. He got it all. I'm telling you, he's slick Rick with it. But we'll leave it be.
so this is kind of like the unknown Barton brother too.
Yeah, I seen him. But
Cody and Jackson always talked about their little brother. There's their sister and them, and there's like, our little brother's.
I don't know. The sister's really good at volleyball. She's unbelievable.
Danny's pretty good.
That kid, the youngest brother. Do you know his name?
I don't.
I don't either. But he came on the visit. I forget his name. And he was huge. Leonard?
Might be.
Yeah, he was huge. I was like, he's going to be better than both of them. For sure. Maybe all three. But Danny's unreal. We'll see.
And your little brother's pretty good, too.
I'm going to say we're all good.
Okay.
But that youngest guy, I think he just gets to watch everyone and gets to mix it all in with him.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
My man Samson Tukuafu with us here on the Coaches Show. We'll take a quick timeout. A guy who's got a little family business on Saturday. Samson almost had family business up at Washington. This next guy does. We're going to talk to Javelin Guidry. His brother plays for UCLA. We'll talk to Jav next on the Coaches Show right here from Learfield IMG College. Coach's Show rolls along tonight from here at the Eccles Football Building, presented by Smith's. We'll bring Kyle back in here in just a couple of minutes, talk a little bit about the Bruins. Our next guest knows a lot about the Bruins.
Yes, sir.
He knows a lot because his brother's starting for the Bruins. The Guidry family's going to be torn this weekend. Although I got to say, you got to root for the older kid, at least for now. They'll have a few more years, but they'll be rooting for both. Javelin Guidry here with us, Utah starting slot corner, and, of course, his brother is now playing for the UCLA Bruins. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. So how's the year been for you?
It's been great. It's been a great year. We're rolling right now, obviously, and just trying to keep it rolling.
Everybody seems to say that USC game recentered you guys and refocused you guys. Obviously, it was a wake-up call. It was your only loss of the year. What's been different since USC, Jeff?
That was obviously a learning experience for us. We just call it a learning experience. And from that game on, we just locked in more each and every day, just focused on each day getting better. And obviously on game day, just going out there making plays for the Utes.
You've been in a starting role really since your freshman year. You broke on the scene with that pick six against Arizona, and you've been playing that. And that's a tough. The position you play in many ways is as challenging as playing on the outside, playing that slot corner, that nickel, if you want to call it whatever. Everybody calls it a little something different. But you're seeing tight ends, you're seeing slot receivers, you're seeing backs out of the backfield. What's your preparation like each and every week? Because you're not, when you're Jalen Johnson, you're going to see probably the number one guy just about every time. You're seeing different guys all the time in that position where you are.
Yeah, it's just really analyzing the pass and the run game. And Coach Shaw does a great job of teaching me like the run fits I have to do, as well as the receiver I have to guard, his releases and how to guard them. So I'm just a faster linebacker pretty much. I got to film the run, and then I have to guard the fast receiver. So
I get a sense, too, when Coach Scally dials up those blitzes, you like coming off the edge a little bit, don't you?
I love it. I always tell him to give me some more, but it's his scheme.
Well, I'll tell you what, both you and Terrell do it really well. Terrell's now kind of coming from deep since he's playing the safety spot this year, but I think Coach Scally's utilized both you guys doing that. Do you ever have to check yourself just a little bit so you don't You're awfully fast. Terrell's pretty fast, too. Do you ever have to worry about overrunning the play?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, me and Terrell, because he has the opportunity to switch with me, and I tell him not to switch. But, yeah, I obviously have to control my speed and know when to go fast when I have to.
Secondary is good. You guys are really good, and you knew that coming in this year. You in the slot, Jalen out wide, Josh and Tariq battling on that other side for playing time, then obviously Julian and Terrell deep. What's that, because I know you're technically different. You kind of flip-flop between them, safety and corner. But what's that room like, that secondary room like, the safeties in the corners, and what's that camaraderie like on the back end?
It's a family atmosphere for sure. We always joking around, but we know when. That's what I love about the group. We know when to lock in when we have to, and out on the field and in the room watching film, just critiquing each other and going out there competing and just learning from one another.
How does it feel now to be sitting here in mid-November almost, and you guys basically control your fate? If you win out, you'll get back to where you want to be, and that's a Pac-12 championship game.
It's a blessing for sure. It's great. We're just trying to go out there and play each game, not focus on what everyone else has to say, just focus on us, really.
Javelin Guidry with us. I mentioned it at the top. Your brother plays for UCLA, and you guys saw each other on the bye week. They had a bye week last week, too. You went back home for a little while. How is that? Well, give our listeners an idea of where your brother's playing. He is playing quite a bit for the Bruins right now.
Yeah, he's at safety, I believe. I don't know where he's at, but yeah, it was great being home. We just talking about the game coming up. I was talking a little trash, It's all love, though.
How is it being where you are right now and being where this team is? Because your brother's playing for a team that's kind of trying to come back a little bit. UCLA is rebuilding that thing down there. You guys are in a good place. How's it feel for you? Because you've been kind of part of this, Javelin. Coming in when the program was good, getting better, and now really on the precipice of being really good and potentially a conference champion. What's that process been like for you?
It's been a great process. Just the coaches putting us in the right position and teaching us to work hard, and just really us as a team, ourselves as a players, focusing on the scheme we have at hand and just working hard on the field and making plays, really.
I like to ask you guys. I asked Julian when he was sitting there, I asked Jalen when he was sitting there, I asked Josh when he was sitting there. Give me the receiver on your team that gives you the biggest fits in practice. Who's the guy that gives you a hard time when you guys are doing reps, going 11 on 11 or whatever it might be?
I love going against Vic. Just he loves to compete. We love to compete against each other. Yeah, and I'll say JD too because he's fast and he's my homie too. So.
That's everybody's answer, by the way. Especially the safeties. They're like, yeah, JD, because he can just run past us if we're not on it, because he's just blazing speed.
Yeah, and I love running with him too because I love to run. So.
Well, I know you do. So is track still part of it for you? Are you going to do some off-season after football's over? Are you going to kind of do what you did last year and try and do some track? What's on the agenda in the off-season?
Maybe. I'm just focused on the season right now. I'll worry about that after.
So you are the fastest guy on the team, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would anybody dispute that?
I hope not. I hope they should let me know.
Who would challenge you? Who would think, because sometimes, guys, I could outrun him. You know how guys are. Who would give you the best race?
I remember in fall camp, JT tried to race, but Coach Witt shut it down. He didn't want any injuries. But, yeah.
All right, give me a thought on UCLA this weekend. You're not going to be going head-to-head with your brother, but the Bruins are getting better. Dorian Thompson-Robinson playing well. They run the football very well with Joshua Kelly. Give me a quick thought on the Bruins.
They're a great team. They have a lot of great athletes that fit their scheme well, and they have a great mentality on offense, and we just got to go out there and do what we do and just make plays and ball out and have fun out there.
All right. Well, go have fun this weekend, Jav. Continue the hard work and success.
Yes, sir. I will.
Javelin Guidry with us on the Coaches Show. We'll come back. Another special guest going to join me and Kyle. We'll talk a little bit about the Bruins as well. And, yes, the latest college football playoff rankings are out. We'll tell you where the Utes fell in that, too. Coming up on the Coaches Show, presented by Smith's from here at Learfield IMG College. All right, welcome back into the Kyle Whittingham Coaches Show. 2 segments to roll here before we hit the top of the hour. Not one, but two special guests tonight. We had the folks from CR England on, and now we have our friends from Wells Fargo, Matt Bloy, with us here. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. You guys have a donation and something that's part of the game on Saturday going on. What is it?
We do. We're excited for Saturday. Not only a big game against UCLA, but we'll be partnering with Ken Garff, American Fork Ford, and Ken Garff, West Valley Ford, to do a vehicle donation to a deserving veteran. So we will honor retired U.S. Army Specialist Nicholas Cannoli with the new 2019 Explorer XLT.
That's a great deal. So how did you guys kind of come about with this, and is this something Wells Fargo does in a lot of places?
Yeah, Wells Fargo has a rich history of supporting our veterans, service members, their families, going back 167 years. This program specifically has been around since 2015, and since then we have sponsored 30 car donations across the country, along with financial mentoring that totals about $1 million.
So how do you guys go about choosing the veteran or the Gold Star family that gets chosen?
Yeah, so we work with some great organizations that do that vetting. So we partner with Military Warriors Support Foundation. They have a website where you can go in and apply for these programs. There's vehicle donations happening across the country, so they can go in, apply. There's a vetting process to make sure their information's up to date and accurate, along with an interview to make sure that they're a good fit for the family and financial mentoring that is also provided within the program. It's not just a car, it's really about helping these veterans succeed financially.
So I'm guessing that there's plans to do this moving forward too with Wells Fargo. It's been so successful to that.
There is, yeah. So this program specifically has been around since 2015. We'll be continuing it in 2020. Supporting our veterans, supporting our service members and their families really aligns with Wells Fargo's vision and values. So it's something that we'll continue to do. It's one small thing that we can do to really thank our service members for the sacrifice they make to our country.
That's such a great cause. Who was the service member or the veteran that's going to be honored this
year? Nicholas Cannoli.
Nicholas Cannoli.
Yes.
And he's going to be getting a new vehicle.
He is. How cool is that?
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And will that be at the game? Will you be honoring him at the game?
We will be honoring him at the game at halftime.
Very nice.
And the vehicle will actually be outside the stadium for any fans to come by and take a picture and also check out what the 2019 Explorer XLT looks like.
That's awesome. Matt's with Wells Fargo doing great stuff. I appreciate you coming by. We'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll also see Kyle Whittingham and UCLA coming up on Saturday as well. Bruins have had a strange season. I mean, they really have. They didn't start out very well, Kyle, but they're playing well as of late. And I know when you guys are putting your game plan together, you're not just looking at the last game, you're looking at all year long. So what's changed with UCLA?
Well, we've started to get some continuity in the offense. The offensive line has started to gel. That may be the biggest factor, is the way the offensive line has improved throughout the course of the season. The quarterback's playing well. He's a dynamic guy. He can beat you with his arm, with his legs. He does a great job extending the plays. They got a good running back, number 27.
Joshua Kelly.
Kelly kid is lead. In fact, he's leading the Pac-12. That's how good he is. He's the number one running back statistically right now in the Pac-12. They got a couple nice receivers and playing better on defense. And they just started to click. And they did struggle early in the season, but like I said, they've seemed to found their rhythm and are playing with a lot of confidence right now.
There are a lot of Dorian Thompson-Robinson and obviously a lot of Joshua Kelly too. What are they doing on the other side of the ball defensively? What are they looking?
Well, they started bringing a little more pressure as of late, a little more middle close zone blitz stuff, and that's been good to them, and that's been the MO for the past 3 or 4 weeks.
All right, let's take our final break here on the Coaches Show. We'll come back and let you know where the Utes sit now in the college football playoff picture. This guy doesn't care so much about that now. He cares about UCLA, but you guys might care. Let me just drop a hint. They're in a better spot than they were a week ago. We'll tell you about that when we wrap it up next on the Coaches Show, presented by Smith's, right here from Learfield IMG College. All right, final quick segment on the Coaches Show tonight. Bill Riley, Kyle Whittingham. Just a reminder, 6 o'clock kickoff Saturday night at Rice-Eccles Stadium with the UCLA Bruins coming in. Latest college football playoff poll came out tonight. I know you saw it as you were walking off the practice field. You guys moved up a notch from number 8 to number 7. Georgia snuck back in. Number 1 was LSU. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Clemson. Number 4 was Georgia. You're 7. Oregon is 6. I know it doesn't matter right now a lot to you, but it's nice to have your program's name up there.
Sure, it is, and it's certainly better than not being ranked. But still a lot of football left, as we both know, and it's going to be a battle this weekend. I mean, UCLA is playing as well as anybody in the conference right now.
Your quarterback may have said it best last night after practice when somebody asked him about the rankings. He said, hey, it doesn't matter. We can't talk our way in there. We've got to play our way in there.
Exactly.
And that seems to be the mentality of everybody on your team right now. One game at a time, UCLA next.
It is, and I think that's the right approach, and I know that's the right approach, and our guys appear to be very focused at practice and just completely fixed on the task at hand.
Stopping the run, number 1 key on Saturday night?
For sure. They're a run-first team. They've got 370 or 60 rush plays this year to about 280 throws, and so they're gonna try to get the running game going. And that's both with Kelly and with the quarterback, and then they have a couple other guys they sprinkle in there. Slot receiver's a good player. Number 2, the Phillips kid, he's gonna, he'll be a tough matchup for us. But we just gotta, we gotta play smart, play hard, and as always, that turnover battle is going to be critical.
Well, you win the turnover battle, you're generally going to win games. Our pregame coverage begins at 4 on Saturday with a 6 o'clock kick. Kyle, have a good week of practice.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
That's Kyle Whittingham. Thanks to our entire crew here today and our special guests from Wells Fargo and CR England. We'll see you Saturday at Rice-Eccles Stadium right here from Learfield, IMG College.